Sharon, thank you very much. Good morning, all. It's truly an honor to be here with you this morning. And I'll tell you, Hank, if there is, in the great workplace flexibility experiment, if there's a lab rat, that's me. I want to share with you this morning the experience we've had, and I too congratulate your partnership. I think you're on to tremendous things, and I think the direction and the velocity that you'll take will surprise even you. I'm the CEO of Ryan. We're, according to Accounting Today, the 7th largest corporate tax firm operating in the U.S. today. I started the company in 1991, me and another individual who felt like I was working him too hard, and he retired. But in that 20-year period of time, we've grown from 2 people to approaching 1,000 people today. We serve primarily Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies, solving complex tax problems. And I think by most measures, people would agree that that's a pretty successful track record. We felt so too, but we started experiencing in 2007 a rapid increase in the loss of talent. And I'm not talking about just general talent, I'm talking about the stars. And the tipping point for me was when one of our brightest and shining stars came into my office and she said, "Brent, I love this company." And she said, "I love my work here. And here's my resignation." And I was shocked. And she told me, she said, "I want to start a family. And it's not conducive to the very rigid set of rules that you have at the company for me to be able to do that." We realized we were developing a sweatshop reputation in the industry and going exactly in the wrong direction from where we wanted to be. Unlike Deloitte, we hadn't spent 6 years working on this. We were way behind the curve. So we felt like we had to do something truly radical. And what we did is we created a program called MyRyan. And the MyRyan program is essentially this. It's a results-based work environment that says if you meet financial results and you meet client service scores, and we take those through independent surveys on an ongoing basis, you can work whenever you want, wherever you want. You determine what is best for you. You determine to work when you're most productive, when you're most engaged, and we'll change the culture to where what really matters are results. Hours don't matter. And this is coming from a person who started his career working 55 hours a week nonstop. You get to the office at 8 o'clock. You don't even think about looking at the elevator before 6. And we were successful doing that. But we realized that it was significantly holding back our productivity. Now, when we went to this program, I'll tell you, there were challenges. First of all, at the time, I had about 60 partners. We're up to almost 75 today. But they were scared to death. And Hank, I must confess, I was scared to death too. We really believed that there was a chance that the day after this program was announced, nobody would show up to work. No client work would be done. Sharon can tell you that if you don't do the work, they will not pay your bills, and we'd just close up shop and go home. We also found that there was a real challenge in measuring results, because in order for this to work, you have to be able to measure results. And quite frankly, we weren't exactly sure how to do that. But we spent a lot of time developing a dashboard that all of our people can see every day when they come into the office to find out where they're at. The beauty of that is, although it's difficult, that focus on measuring results crystallizes your thinking and makes people focus and concentrate on what's important. Now, the remarkable part of this experiment, and I believe why I'm here today, is that what this has done for our company has been truly phenomenal. The return on our investment has been incredible. For example, our voluntary turnover rate in 2008, before we shifted to the MyRyan program, voluntary turnover was 18.5%. We reduced it in 2009 to 6.5%. Our total turnover rate, which was 22.9%, which is good in the financial services industry, we reduced to a total of 13.3%, a dramatic decrease in turnover. And after all, these are the most talented people we can recruit. We want to keep them. We won more awards, like the Best Places to Work in Texas award in 2009, the first full year of our program, than we had won in the previous 18-year history of our company. Our client service scores went to the highest they've been in the history of our company. 97% of our clients ranked us either good or excellent in the performance of our services, the best we've ever had. And you know, anybody that understands scaling a business, the bigger it gets, the harder it is to manage, and the thing you lay awake at night worrying about is, are we still as focused, are we still as competent, are we still as good as we were? But probably the most remarkable statistic, and the one that I think I would share if I had one thing to share with any CEO that was thinking about workplace flexibility, is this. In 2009, in arguably the worst economic conditions in my generation, certainly the worst thing that we had seen as a company, in 2009 we posted record profits and record revenue. And then again this year in 2010, we beat it again from a revenue standpoint. So clearly, this has had a phenomenal impact from a financial perspective. And I'll admit, I'm a rabid capitalist. I didn't go down this path just to provide another employee benefit. I wanted to make money. And I'll tell you, Sloan has been a critical part of our success because anybody can say, we have a flexible work environment. We have workplace flexibility, right? You see that in everybody's materials. The question is, are you really walking the talk? And Sloan is the gold standard for that. It proves it. It's helped with branding. It's a key part of our recruiting message. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I got to speak at our orientation. We onboarded about 60 new hires, and I asked them, by a show of hands, how many people here are here because of My Ryan and workplace flexibility? And almost 80% of the hands went up and said, that's why we're here. So it's clearly an important strategy for us going forward. And finally, Sloan is important because it establishes a benchmark. It's something that's reported by the employees, and we're going to engage in it every year because we don't want to become complacent. We've seen the value of it, and we see this as a way each year to measure based on our employee responses that this is the benchmark. So it's been a critical part of our success there. But I'll tell you, I started out very much as the lab rat in this experiment, believing that a person that was very rigid in their thinking and the culture that we had as a company had been successful, and I use that success as an excuse not to change all the time, but I have learned that workplace flexibility is much more than an employee benefit. It's not like pizza on Fridays for the employees. It is an incredibly powerful business strategy. We've seen productivity increase. We've seen our brand increase. We've become much more competitive and focused. So I would leave you with this thought in conclusion, that we believe that workplace flexibility is a key strategy for the success of our company. And frankly, without it, I don't think we'd be where we are today, and particularly we'd be not going through the Great Recession as effectively as we have. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. I congratulate you both on this great partnership, and we certainly look forward to continuing to work with SHRM and the Sloan Awards going forward. So thank you. I'm very honored to introduce our next speaker, and please join me in welcoming Admiral Mike Mullen. He's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Admiral Mullen is the principal military advisor to the President, to the Secretary of Defense, the National Security Council, and the Homeland Security Council. As such, he is also a leading voice on issues relating to military personnel and their families, and has made workplace flexibility in the military an increased priority. Please join me in welcoming Admiral Mike Mullen.